participants, Sir Charlie, are mostly our school heads of the schools in Pili West and Pili East. So for us program, may we request everyone. By the way, before we begin with our program, we are also in Facebook Live po. So if you would like to share the link, si Madam Zaira po ng ating extension service ang nagpe-Facebook Live and in charge sa halos lahat ng ginagawa natin ngayong afternoon. So yeah, you can give the link to your teacher so that they can also attend via online platform. So thank you so much po. So may we now invite everyone to please stand for our prayer and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Our Lord in heaven, thank you for today. Thank you for the gift of life we are receiving from you every day. For your protection and love, we thank you. Help us to focus our hearts and minds now on what we are about to do and to learn. Inspire us by your Holy Spirit as we work and our students as they learn. Guide us by your eternal light in every plan and decisions we make. We ask all this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Ang lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dilim mo'y buhay. Lupang hiniram, dulot na ng magiging, sa manlulubi, di ka masisingil, sa nagatang tulog, sa singil at sa lalim mong babang, may ginagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng patawad mo'y tagumpay na nagilingin, ang bituin at araw na kailan pa may madilim. Lumarang araw ng 100% mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya ng pagpay makahamit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Has been a technical difficulty on our part. So at this moment, we are supposed to be given a message by our extension director. By the way, dito po sa CBSEA, we have our VPRI that's headed by our Vice President, Dr. Ramona Isabel Ramirez. And under this extension service, we are supervisioned by Dr. Vladimir Forunda. So siya po ang lahat ng nag-approve ng aming mga ginagawa ngayong hapon, and he is the reason he supported us in terms of in pursuing this particular extension services para lang magkaroon din ng connection and ma-provide yung mga pwede naming maibigay po sa mga schools sa Pili West and Pili East. At the same time, matuto din kami in your schools. So at this moment, we are to listen to the message of our Dean of the College of Development Education, Dr. Raquel Riapor.
To our very dynamic and very supportive Director of Extension Services Division, Dr. Vladimir Foronda, to our very brilliant speaker and faculty of the College of Development Education, Dr. Charlie P. Nacario, to the very enthusiastic and committed proponents of this activity, Dr. Christopher Bidacer, Professor Ana Vera B. Hugo, and Ms. Kristia Sheena Amparo Tobale, to our highly esteemed teacher participants from the different collaborating schools, everyone, ladies and gents, good afternoon. For and on behalf of the Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, University Extension Services Division, and the College of Development Education, I would like to give my sincerest gratitude to all of you for finding time to accept our invitation to this activity. Kindly extend our gratitude to your respective principals for sending you here and for trusting our faculty with your professional enhancement. This training on pedagogy is very interesting because this will give you the opportunity to enhance your knowledge and skills, particularly on trends in teaching, that you can hope to use in your career at present and maybe in the future. You will also have an experience that will enable you to learn for something new and useful to your profession. This will not only change the way you teach, but maybe even change the way you look at transforming the lives of our students. Finally, I am sure that this activity will be fun and enjoyable because aside from having the chance to bond and get to connect with people in related fields, hearing other points of view and great ideas, you will also be handled by a very competent speaker. Again, thank you very much, everyone. God bless. Have a great time.
to our dean. These technical difficulties do not usually happen, so we're sorry about it. So we are she is supposed to be here this afternoon, but sadly may mga meetings pong ongoing din with the Vice President of Academic Affairs. She would love to be here sana, but then yun, priorities yung mga meetings because those are related to the academic concerns of our university. So she really has to be there. So at this moment, I will now give you the overview of our activity, yung buong program po actually, so that you will have an idea kung saan ba tayo patungo, ano na ba yung mga nagawa natin, and what should we expect in this reinvigorating skills and education for multi-grade teachers extension service. So can you help me with my slides, darling? So this reinvigorating skills and education for multi-grade teachers, actually po ang buong pakana, kumbaga, ang pinaka-head namin when it comes to having multi-grade teachers as our parang main focus ng aming extension service ay si Sir Chris Dacer. And then he decided to involve me and Ma'am Ana, and then we come up with several activities na we think are really very needed kasi we know po in the Department of Education na may mga ongoing trainings na. And as mentioned kanina ni na Madam, sa term Minda is magurang na or haluya na talaga, we prefer to say na expert na in terms of handling multi-grade levels in the Department of Education and Public Schools. So arami po na tataong-tatao na kamo and aram na nindo kung ano ang mga dapat gibuhon with multi-grade education. Parang we don't have a choice but to really reach out to these teachers then para mas malaman nila yung mga dapat na tawag dyan, strategy so they can handle better the multi-grade level. So at this point po, itong Rise for MGT as we call it, this is just an extension service, probably an additional tawag dyan, additional service din para sana may makuha pa tayong ibang pwedeng gawin in our schools. So next slide po. So as mentioned kanina, these are the proponents of the project, Sir Christopher Dacer, Ma'am Ana Vera Hugo, and yours truly, Cristina Amparo. Yung project 1 po ay iha-handle ko, that's called Saldang. Ma'am Ana will be handling Sirang, and Sir Chris will be focusing on Sinag. So ito pong project 1 na Saldang is mainly focused on capacity enhancement training. So ito po yung pinakaunang activity na ginawa under Saldang. And then Ma'am Ana Hugo will be handling or will be focusing more on the module development. And then Sir Chris will mainly focus on the transfer to LMS. So yan lang po yung basically magiging proseso natin. But it's not like itong maiinot si capacity training, gabos ng capacity training. We don't like that. Ang mangyayari po, later malalaman natin yung specifics ng events after another event. Events every after events. Next po. And our collaborating agencies will be, this will run for 3 years. So for first year, in the year 2022 to 2023, we are targeting the 3rd Congressional District, which is the Pili East District and Pili West District. Back then po yung nakausap namin, yung former PSDS pa po ng Pili West and Pili East. And right now, we are coordinating with the newly installed PSDS. So, yeah. And they were very welcoming naman with the project. And we would also be including the League of Pre-Service Elementary Educators. Yung ibang members po, nandito po sila. So in terms of the rationale of our program, under Department Order 96, Series of 1997, on the policies and guidelines in the organization and operation of multi-grade classes, it is declared, which I think you all know naman po. So this is pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution to protect and promote the rights of all citizens to quality education at all levels. So yan yung pinaka-target ng program in general. But to be more specific, these are our objectives. One is to capacitate the third grade teachers through relevant enhancement trainings on pedagogy, classroom management, instructional materials development, and ICT in teaching. I know that you also employed ICT, lalo na po kang pandemic, right? So ngunyan po ang pinaka-goal ni, ano man ang mangyari, mag-pandemic man gararay, na habutan ang mangyari, at least prepare kita, at least you have the materials. And these materials po na i-develop, ilalaod sa LMS, sa Indo po yan. Mayo kaming habol dyan, kamo ang author kayan. You have the ownership of all these materials. Second is to develop teachers and learners guides with learning activities that feature agriculture and agricultural practices, since ang pinaka-mandate ng university is agriculture and research as well as instruction. So yan din ang focus po. So lahat ng subjects na probably gagawa natin ng mga modules would kind of employ agriculture in each of the subjects. As much as possible, kaya natin yung gawin. Number 3 is to assist in the development of learning management system, yung pangungunahan po ni Sir Chris. In what particular platform yung gagamitin, we would find out by the time na mag-transfer na tayo via LMS. So these are the expected outcomes rather, to assess state of multi-grade schools and teachers in the Department of Education Camarines Sur Division, Pili District. Second is capacitated multi-grade teachers. Hopefully, talagang lahat tayo would bring out results, would deliver results in this program through relevant enhancement trainings conducted on pedagogy, classroom management, instructional materials development, and ICT in teaching. Third, develop a learning management system. And lastly, develop teachers and learners guides with learning activities that are anchored to agriculture and agricultural practices. Since tayo po yung parang wave 1 or year 1, we are also looking into the possibility na after ng year 1, maging partner na namin kayo in training for year 2 and year 3. So, sana lang masakop natin ang buong Bicol with the advocacy that we want in this project. Okay, so project 1 yung sabi ko na, actually, we were required na pangalanan daw specifically yung lahat ng project. So sabi ta, ano daw ang something na related to RISE or RISE? So sabi ta, let's think of words in Bicol related to the word rice. So, yun lang, naisip ko po yan, Saldang or the sun. Series of capacity enhancement training which we are to do this afternoon. So this project basically aims to provide more space for teachers to learn supplementary skills. Why do we use the term supplementary? Kasi nga, alam na po namin na meron nang ginawa, meron na kayong alam. Mas may alam pa. So far, alam namin mas alam pa kayo kesa sa amin. But we are looking into that possibility of exploring more platform na kumbaga makatulong din po sana kami sa inyo. Yan, in coaching, in classroom administration, and we assure you that we will only be getting experts in this capacity enhancement trainings. Like this afternoon, we have the expert right there. Second, yung project 2 natin is yan, sirang. Kumbaga, from the Saldang itself, may pagsirang na. So, teachers and learners guide and module development progression. That will be the focus of Ma'am Ana Vera Hugo. Probably, after 3 capacity enhancement training, si Ma'am Ana na ang mag-handle po sa atin. So, the multi-grade teachers will develop teachers and learner guides and modules that will include learning activities that feature agriculture, agricultural practices, as well as Bicol culture. Kasi, di ba po, sa elementary, we have MTB, MLE. So, gusto lang din namin magkaroon ng supplementary materials on the tawag dyan, pieces of learning ng student pag-abot sa Bicol culture. And then, it shall likewise promote, yan, agriculture and Bicol culture. And then, yung project 3 natin, would be the project SINAG. So Development of Learning Management Systems. So this is This project will be shared not only with the pre-service elementary educators, more importantly, the LMS will be developed, will be shared with Butagay teachers from DepEd in the 2nd Congressional District, Minalabak. Yan po ang target natin for year 2. And for year 3, ang target natin ay Bula. But there might be some changes. We are so very open to your suggestions. This is a collaborative project. So kahit anong input po na gusto ninyo, you can always tell our program leaders and our project leaders. Kasi para naman yun sa ikakabuti ng programa. Yeah, we will always conduct needs assessment program. So ito po, ito yung projected activities natin in this extension survey. So we already started with the conduct of needs assessment. This is actually last year. Nag-visit po kami sa Pili East and Pili West. We will well welcomed by the PSDS. Sino nga nandoon? I remember you, madam. And yan, nagkaroon ng needs assessment. And so for ito yung mga lumabas na parang kailangan ng every schools. So nagkaroon din ng inception meeting, preparation and revision of the proposal. Yan yung mga inasikaso from around November, no sir? November, December, until around February. MOA signing, ito yung target supposedly, but soon we will do that because there has been a little delay because of how busy the legal officer is in the Department of Education, Camarines Sur. So sana soon, mangyari na siya talaga. Yeah, may feedback na from our legal officer. Procurement of training materials. And then we are now in the capability enhancement training on pedagogy entitled New Trends in Teaching, the Beauty of Peer Coaching. After that, next week, we'll have the analytics of emotions. This is no longer on the psychological first aid, more on the support on the well-being of the students now because we were informed na sa psychological first aid, we will be needing expert and would take around 2 days for us to finish the training. So sabi ta, anong lighter daw na approach so that we can still kind of give support to these teachers on how to handle parang dyan, di man itong problematic students, but students with so much trauma inside the household. Kasi ano pa daw itong, you're dealing with 50 personalities and then there are additional other personalities pa na idadagdag sa klase din doon. So perhaps may mga personal problems pa yun, mga aki na yan, will learn on how to handle the well-being or the mental health of the students, which I think is very important right now. Ano po, kadtong mga elementary kami around 2009, 2007, mga panahon na elementary kami, daigayong na-introduce ang importance of mental health, and I think at elementary, importante nang ma-employ siya para as early as elementary grades, naaaraman na ninda kung ano ka-importante ang pag-alaga sa mental health. And we rely on teachers in bringing that change in the society. So grabe po ang tiwala mi sa teachers because kami din mga teacher and gawin ang pagtubod mi, nakamo ang makakapagpabago sa, kumbaga, mga notion about dyan, mga misconceptions on mental health. So, yan po. After that, we'll get started with Google Classroom. That's the 3rd training. And then after that po, magkakaigwa na ning module development. So, ini po, ano lang siya, a little introduction on Google Classroom for the alumnus. And then right after that, malaog na po si Ma'am Ana on Bicol culture and agriculture, mainly focused on subjects English, Araling Panlipunan, and Filipino. And then after that, ma-transfer kita ng, sa LMS after mag-develop ng modules. And then magkaigwa kita ng session, balik sa kuya po. Agigibuhon taga-recycle siya. Sa kuya, kay Ma'am Ana, kay Sir Chris. Then balik sa kuya, Ma'am Ana, Sir Chris. Para, kumbaga si learning, pieces of learning. Di siya itong natatabunan na, di na ngayon arara, mag-iba pa lang kitang module mo niyan. So, training, doing, and then transferring. Ganun ang gibuhon ta po. Tapos yan, second, after ng English, Araling Panlipunan and Filipino, MAPE and Science naman kita. Bicol Agricultural Folk Songs and the Science of Planting. And then, after that, yan, Teaching Mathematics naman, and then monitoring and evaluation na and report preparation. But if you would like to make some changes on this, we are very open to your suggestions. So that is all for the overview of our project. Sana po, this will really be a collaborative effort between CBSUA and our partner district. So at this point in time, we are to listen to the introduction of the guest speaker, which will be facilitated by the very beautiful Ma'am Ana Vera Hugo. A round of applause, please.
Okay. Good afternoon to all. So before the introduction of our guest speaker, we will have first presentation of the participants. So I have here the registration form. So in behalf of the proponent of this activity, I would like to present the teacher heads or the school head as well as the multi-grade teachers of the East and West districts. For the East district headed by Dr. Cyril R. Salazar and for the West district headed by Dr. Carlos P. Fajardo. So may I ask, as I call the school, may I ask the participant to please stand up to be recognized. So for the school heads and multi-grade teacher from Alejandro T. Manaog Elementary School, please stand up po for recognition. Okay po. Thank you po, ma'am. From Pinsumil Elementary School, Himao Pili Camarines Sur. Then from Rotary Elementary School, okay, from ADJ Garbiles Senior Elementary School, from Binanuana Norte Elementary School, from Upper Lampog Elementary School, okay, from Binanuana Norte Elementary School, from Kabukludan Elementary School, and from BLISS or Bliss Elementary School. Okay. Thank you very much po for attending in our activity or training today. And there are also faculty members from CDE or College of Development Education who are present today. So we have also, please stand up po to be recognized, Sir Allen and okay, Dr. Tubig and Professor Angelica Villegas. Okay. So thank you very much po for attending our training today. So marami pa pong mga susunod like what Ma'am Krista have mentioned a while ago, marami pa pong susunod na mga activities. Okay, so I was also given the task to introduce our resource person for today. So it is a great honor and privilege for me to introduce to you this afternoon our very able and intelligent resource speaker. We are blessed to have him here in our training today to give us lecture on new trends in teaching, the beauty of peer coaching. So our resource person is a relatively young and dynamic member of the academe. Is a PASUK accredited full-fledged and youngest Professor 6 of the College of Development Education of Central Bicol State University of Agriculture. He is an alumnus of our university, formerly known as CSAC or Camarines Sur State Agricultural College, and finished the course BSA Agricultural Education and graduated cum laude. He also took up a diploma in science teaching, major in chemistry, minor in physics at the University of the Philippines Open University, and MA in chemistry education at Bicol University. He is also a graduate of PhD in Human Development Management as a CHED Scholar at Universidad de Santa Isabel in Naga City. He was former chairman of the Department of Teacher Education, head of the laboratory schools, coordinator of Civic Welfare Training Service, teacher training coordinator of the Commission on Information and Communication Technology, the program leader of the Continuing Education and Training Program of the Extension Services Division, Director of the National Service Training Program, or NSTP, Director of Student Affairs and Services, the Dean of the College of Development Education, as well as the former Director of the Institutional Planning and Development Office and Acting Quality Assurance Director. Presently, he is an accreditor of the AACUP, a university ISO internal auditor, and an affiliate graduate school faculty. Likewise, he is elected as the president of the Philippine Society of NSCP Educators and Implementers Incorporation, or PSNEI, in Region 5. PSNEI National Vice President, Vice Chairman of CBSUA Multipurpose Cooperative, and the President of CBSUA Faculty Union in Main Campus. In 2017, he was allowed to have an academic exposure and engagement to premier universities in China, particularly in the provinces of Xiamen and Shan, as a part of the official Philippine delegation. He has presented 22 research papers in conferences and has published 15 research publications in various local, national, and international refereed journals. He has also published and co-authored books in his courses, such as Field Study, NSTP, Science, Technology, and Society, and Principles of Teaching. His books on principles of teaching is where he drew his competence on varied teaching approaches in the changing educational landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-faculty, please join me in welcoming our resource speaker for today, Dr. Charlie Peña Nacario. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Ana and Sir Chris. Ma'am, it's nice to see familiar faces again. And maraming itong nag-attend ka, inita sinisilduhan ka na, nakakanood ka pa. May pa-snack, siyempre dapat ini. Akong da ining professor na nagmapa-snack digdi. Magdangog lang, daw day palakpaka, daw day bayadan basta palakpakan. Okay, and we're happy to see that our partners in the basic education are also here funding to this kind of call. Because we have this famous Chinese proverbs that says that it takes the whole village to educate a child. Do you agree with that? So it's not only your concern to educate our young generation in your respective communities, but it will take the entire participation of every one of us so that we can come up with a Filipino citizen whom we dream of. And until now, we are not able to produce one. Meron na ba tayong na-produce na talagang complete in terms of personal and professional attribute of a Filipino? Lahat diyan may diferensya, kahit si Rizal, kahit si Andres Bonifacio, even if we call them national heroes, palaging may diferensya. So, because there is no such thing as perfect individual. We may have been created perfectly, but somewhere, somehow, we were not able to enjoy the imperfections that we have. And that is why we are all here trying to perfect every endeavor where we indulge ourselves. And I am very thankful because, again, I have been given the opportunity to take part in this particular undertaking. Now, first, before I forget, I would like to congratulate the three musketeers. Of course, the lead proponent, Dr. Dacer, and the soon-to-be doctors, Dr. Ana and Ma'am Christia, for coming up with this activity. Siguro magtataka naman ito sa DepEd, ay sila mga school head. Bakit sila trabaho tungkol sa amin? at kami doon lang sa kanila. Remember, our college is a teacher training institution and it is declared a center of development. Next to that, higher in rank is Center of Excellence. And one of the many criteria for us to be able to attain that high pedestal in terms of the kind of program that the university or the college is offering is for us to conduct activities like this, because this is also a field, or this is also a mandate where we can collaborate and at the same time partner with institutions with an end mind of making things better, not only for ourselves but also for our students. And we are happy because the school heads are here, and I hope you recognize the fact that there is always an urgency of attending capacity enhancement training. Although Ma'am Chris has already mentioned that you may know a lot how to handle multi-grade learners. But remember, as a teacher training institution, the College of Education are also training future teachers who will be handling or who will be also deployed in this multi-grade classes in the last mile schools. Um, Let us check that not all multi-grade classes are in last mile schools. Yeah, true or false? True. Meaning, even if you are in an urbanized situation, there can be multi-grade classes. But in almost all last mile schools, it is always expected that they practice multi-grade instruction. Yes or no, ma'am? Yes. But not all multi-grade classes are held in last mile schools, even in cities or in urban. Dito sa Pili, parang sa St. Paul, meron bang multi-grade doon, ma'am? Ano? Si ma'am, nakalimutan ko si ma'am, friendship namin to ni Agum ko, ah. Ha? Ay, hindi ka na doon sa St. Paul, ma'am? Ah, si ma'am, na-promote na si ma'am. Okay, pakiregards kay Sir Villaray. Okay. And as yeah, si Ma'am Cecil, nakalimutan ko si Ma'am Cecil, pasensya naman, takadakol kayong sinusurat. Anyway, so, yun ang mandate. And the faculty of the university, faculty members of the university are also mandated, as they mentioned, to do instruction, research, and extension work and production of instructional materials, etc., etc. They're just doing their job. Okay? And you are also doing your job in the spirit of service to the country. Magyan. Okay? So magayon yan, di ba? Pinabayadan ka na, pinapa-snack ka pa, nakakanood ka pa. So, ano man ang tadaitang what's the reason why we do not attend to this kind of undertaking? Siguro next time, tayo kita sa speech laboratory, doon ta na sa estudyante nila kung paano how these things are being used or operated. Para pagbalyo din daig, aram na kang mga estudyante. This is what we are promoting our facilities, our programs in the university. Okay? Now, I hope I am trying to, why I'm saying this, because I wanted to have some leveling why we are here and why you are also being invited. Meaning to say, we have to, aside from the saying that says that it takes the whole village to educate the child, we also have to understand that it takes two to tango. Diba? Ako matibay magbaili. Okay? Kaya sabi ko nga, dahil na akong parapataramon, pagbaili na sana. Tapos na kita dyan. However, so meaning to say partnership, the basic education does not terminate there. Your students will go to higher education institutions. So therefore, it is important that we give them strong foundation in their formative years. And I always tell my MS and PhD students that I always give premium, especially to our elementary teachers, because of taking that challenge of being an instrument in the formative years of our students. Kaya sabi ko nga, the best, hindi yung the best and the brightest. Ano? The best of the brightest should be found in the formative years of educational system, and they are in the basic education, particularly the elementary education. Diba? Isn't it very fulfilling when you let your pupils able to read and write something? Pag sakali sa ka mo nagtukdo, o lalo na sa masteral or sa PhD. Pag nagkaklase ako, ang mga eskwela to, matitibay man. Sabi mo, okay, nag-arog-arog mo yan kayo. Okay. Pero actually, pag baralik tayo naman sa inda, the same attitude, the same competent, maray nang may tuwa o tulo dyan na magsunod sa emo. But in the elementary years, magkikidudungan pa ki Dr. Charlie Nacario, dawa sinasabihan ko, oy, si papa mo, dean, direktor, nakasurat na akong libro dyan, profesor. Masabi ang ake ko, daipo, sabi ni teacher, isa yung pagkasunod, sabi ni teacher, ini, so meaning to say, your platform is the best platform, okay, where you can actually make a change, make or unmake our pupils in the future. Okay? So, it takes the whole village, it takes two to tango. We need you more than we need us. Okay? Parang ibig sabihin na we cannot be here all alone. Or it should be a collaboration. Especially in the 21st century education, we cannot just separate DepEd. Kaya pag palagi naming partner o doon tayo magti-training ng future ng mga teachers, tapos etc. etc. But it is a tall order for teacher training institution like CBSUA to take part in the nurturance and in honing in-service and pre-service teachers. Okay? It is the mandate of higher education institution. Kaya nga ni higher, meaning to say, we cascade whatever is found in the higher echelon of learning and teaching down to the basic. Diba? Hindi yung from below. Okay? And that is the mandate of the university. Okay? That we've got to help one another in order to give flesh and ultimately contribute to the attainment of the goals of education as enshrined in the Philippine Constitution. And so, thank you very much, our dear school heads, and for encouraging your teachers to attend to this kind of activity. Okay? Sabi ko nga sa mga estudyante namin, have you been into a study where you are able to find out that there is a strong correlation between the attendance of your teachers in the Department of Education resulting to higher academic achievement? Is the number of trainings attended by your teachers in your in-service trainings has been significantly correlated to be so important and significant in the pupil's academic achievement? Merong na bang nagsabi na the higher the attendance of teachers in the department attending your trainings in service training has resulted to better academic achievement of your pupils? Tapos sabi ng mga estudyante, ikaw ba ma'am? Or, if not in the academic achievement, at least in terms of productivity of the teacher. Yung bang mga teacher na nag-attend for several years ng in-service training teacher ay tumaas na din ang productivity in terms of research productivity, community outreach productivity, or in terms of promotion. Nakatulong ba yun ng mga pag-training natin? Meron bang studying nakita tayo? Sabi, sige, nire-rate ka mga estudyante ko. Kami, sir, alam na kaming MT1. Wow, sabi ko, magdaliwan pala mag-MT1 sa ko. May bag ko na kaingay, sir, na parameter mo niyan sa DepEd. May MT1 na kanya. Alam ko yung MT1, congratulations to all because you are already MT1 at this level dahil hindi pa kamo tapos ng master's nyo. Di nga sir, matagal na po kaming teacher 1, kaya ang MT1 matagal na teacher. Kaya parang inirit ako. So, ang ibig sabihin, it's better. So, I appreciate our graduate school students because in spite of the voluminous tasks in the schools where they're assigned, they're also able to find time to attend to their professional and personal growth by sacrificing their Saturdays in the graduate school, di ba? And perhaps all the school heads now have been there in that position because you have also invested in your education and invested your time to your graduate education, and that is why perhaps you're enjoying your being school head or your being school principal. Okay? And that is perhaps that can highly be correlated to the kind of productivity that a teacher may have. Oh, halimbawa, kung 10 years na ba ang 10 years na ba yung in service training teacher for teaching na, ilan na bang teacher ang naging ng teacher 2, ilan na bang teacher ang naging ng teacher 3, ilan na bang marami na bang naging productivity? Sige, ang reklamo ko, mayo nga sir, mayo. Or baka na ako pa-contribution pa kamo, na may speaker kamo na mas matibay mga pangali ka magtaram. Sige, but you know, these are important exercises for us to continuously hone the kind of intellectual mindset that we have. Sabi dito sa binigay sa akin na topic ni Sir, the Professor 6 is a very good follower. Okay? Pwede po, Sir, pwede bang ikaw niya? Okay. Ako na inuutosan nitong mga mas matanda ko dyan sa tatlong ito. But you know, you have to lead by example. In this case, we don't look at the ranks. We look at collaboration. Okay, so that we'll be able to produce and attain our goals and perform our mandated functions. And that is the kind of culture that we also wanted to share. Ako, personally, that is the kind of culture that I wanted to share to my colleagues, etc. I am done already, been there, done that, and the kind of culture that we have to create is the kind of culture where there is collaboration, where there is participation, where there is a cooperation, mutual respect, and luck for everything that we do. Okay? We are done with the competition anymore. We do not compete here, my dear school heads and teachers from DepEd and from our college. We are here to collaborate. We are done with competitions. Those are product of old school, where you compete with some other schools. Here, as all advocates of education, we are here all for the expectation that we contribute a little and a little something to our pupils and to our students. Okay? So, sabi dito ang assignment ko ay ito, new trend in teaching, and the beauty of peer coaching. Okay, the term peer coaching is actually not a new trend. It has been there since the 50s, the 70s, and the 80s. Yung term na coach has been used before in athletics or in sports. Okay, but I make a little twist in the presentation so that though it has been there for so long a time as a platform or as a strategy, but how can we make use of this in the new realities, in the changing educational landscape, di ba? Iba ang pagtuturo noon kaysa naman ngayon, and that is always number one, or to me, mortal sin. If you are going to teach, I always tell my education students or the teachers, it is a mortal sin to teach your students the way you were taught. Okay, and meaning to say, you've got to upskill yourself. It is, to me, not so good practice if you are going to teach your students the way you were taught when you were a pupil and when you were a student. Okay, so let us find out not only how do we coach or the peer coaching as a modality in the new realities. Hindi na tayo new normal, pero ang tawag na sa atin, new realities. And this is the new reality that we are having. Okay? We have blended learning, etc., etc. When something comes, when pandemics come, we are already prepared and we can make a little more adjustment. Pag may nagbagyong mayong kuryente dyan sa mga last mile schools, etc., we can immediately proceed to the use of module, and we can continue learning or continue the educative process, di ba? So yan po ang ano natin, ang tanong. And so I hope you are going really to extend much of your time and a little of your resources so that if you are not particularly anymore handling or doing some yan, actual instruction. Sino yung nagtuturo pa talaga sa multigrade? Pagkatapos nga, mga school heads daw kayo, o di isa lang, dapat palang kabilang dalaw nag-uusap. But I would like to believe that if you are the school head, you will also try to relay the understanding and as sabi ni Sir Tupi, the beauty of peer coaching to your teachers. Okay? Kasi iba yung iba ang the strategies perhaps may be different when you do it on at your level. Ang tingin sa inyo ng teacher iba because you are designated as a school head, may ibang level of respect yan. Okay? But you know, kaya nga ang tawag peer, dapat walang ano yan, no ranks, no titles. Okay? You are there with the same intention. Okay? Regardless of your rank, regardless of anything that you have. Okay? So yan po ang titignan natin. And how will it will be cascaded so that we can radiate the same practice to our students. You know, Ma'am Edna, Madi, yan pala si Madam, ikaw pang school head, nakapalat kay Ma'am Cecil. Okay, so, sa sunod, itong mga multi-grade teachers na ang imbitaran nila, bako na kamong mga school head. Pero kung yan, pinapaliwanag nilang kung ano ta napili sa mga multi-grade instruction. Ano yan? Multi-grade classes. So, we'll have these partners in crime later on with the end in mind that we can do a little share to our pupils and to our students in the next 3 years. Okay? So, allow me to proceed with my job. Okay? Continue daw kita. Guwapo pa ako naman. So, objectives of the presentation wishes to provide a firm understanding of the concept of peer coaching, its historical and fundamental context as used in education. So, mga iba sa inyo, alam na yan. But let us try to understand again or reminisce or let me walk you through to the different or diverse teaching methodologies or teaching modalities that we have known before. Wala namang masama kung babalik-balikan natin yung mga magagandang pinagdaanan natin. And then next, to identify principles, practices, and requisites in peer coaching effectively. Okay? And appreciate the promise of peer coaching as a platform for addressing current realities in the teaching and learning process. Okay? Ang estudyante patingon yan, pag inanggutan mo, anggot man sa imo. Samantalang ka ito, pag sinabihan mo ng sit down, talagang sit down, kami nagkikiling. Pag nagkiling ka to the left, -2 yan. Pag nagkiling ka to the right, tayaon naman ang table 1 sa may right, -5. So, ibig sabihin, nangangarog ka. Pag nagtalikod ka na talaga, intentional ka ng mangarog, -10 na. But this time, iba. The more you, iba ang mga estudyante. Okay, so these are current realities. How do we attend to them? How do we respond to them? How do we coach them? Kasi kayo ang tawag baga sa inyo, pag may kantis kaya, kantis ang tawag kay teacher, coach. But how do we coach our pupils with different and diverse cultural backgrounds, norms, tradition, beliefs, etc., etc.? So, I hope we will be able to have this, parang yan na rin ang outline, and we'll be able to attain these objectives of the presentation as an assignment, as my assignment given to me by this young young teachers, young faculty members of the College of Development Education. Sige, next. Now, I would like to begin by sharing to you the picture of my advices in the PhD and in the master's. Apat ang PhD dyan at saka isa ang master's degree. Okay? Because I always believe that person's success is not what you do for yourself, but it is what you do for others. Okay? And when you coach your peers, you are not doing it just for yourself, but you are doing it for your peers. And that's the real measure of success. When I obtained my PhD, I did it for myself. So could not be, it is not a parametric to say that I have been successful in my educational journey. When I was able to obtain the highest academic rank, the CBSUA has conferred at my younger age, I have done it for myself, but I never did it for others. And therefore, it is not success. And if you wanted, therefore, to be successful, it is not what you do in terms of your educational pursuit or in terms of obtaining the highest position that you have in the Department of Education or in any institution where you are affiliated, but it can be measured in the kind of things or anything that you do for others. And that's the real measure of success. Okay? Ano na ba ang nagawa natin para sa kapwa natin at para sa iba? Diba? Kala ko ngayon, sir, and aside from doing aside from success of doing what you do for others, not only for yourself, success is also about being consistent. Okay? Ibig sabihin ng being consistent, diba, pag malaog ka sa klase na perming amay ka talaga. Kung naamay ka lang, kaya si school head mo. Or amay ka lang mag-submit ng report na permi kang may check kay principal or school head. Okay? Pag iba naman si school head or district supervisor, iba naman. And success is measured by being consistent of what you do. Okay? Every now and then, sabi ko sa mga eskwela. Ibig sabihin, paglalao mo sa klase, kung talagang para absent ka man, i-maintain mo yan. Maging successful ka kaya. Pag turmi kang ori mag-submit, i-maintain mo man. Turmi kang you will be known, you will be recognized for that. Di successful ka to be known. Hindi lang maganda. Okay? Kaya ako sabi ko sa mga students, and even my PhD students or my graduate students, wanted to be successful in your career, take note of this particular term, consistency. You have to be consistent. Alam mo, sabi ko, when I study, I really study hard. Diba? Kaya nga sabi ko itong pag-introduction, naka-cum laude, mandi. Study hard. And when I work hard. Kaya na-obtain ko highest academic rank sa university at my younger age. Study hard, naka-honor man, work hard, naka-taas ba na position. And sige, you have to be consistent. May dinadagdag pa ako dyan. When you study hard. When you work hard. When you fuck hard. Di siyempre mangyari sa mga eskwela. Nangyari sa English sa mga eskwela, ang may siyam na aki. Di si Dr. Nacario talaga. Consistent talaga. You study hard, you work hard, you love hard. Hindi naman fuck hard, love hard. So, consistent. Because consistency is a parametric or it is a metric for success. Diba? Hindi yung maray sana, abubasang. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, it is important that you have that kind of attitude towards the end. You maintain and sustain, and in so doing, you become consistent. Sabi ko nga, abo ko na yung magparataram, mapagal na kita, magparataram. Mga ngalas ngayon sa Emoser, kung nagmi-meeting, dae ka na magtaram. Bako ka ng consistent. Kung dahil ka na yung magtuyaw dyan, mangalas na sa emo, tadahil ka na nagtutuyaw. Mm. So, ibig sabihin, you have got to be consistent in everything that you do. You have been attending to your classes regularly din through time. Hindi yung porking naging school head ka na, you seem to be dragging your feet towards going to your school. Ang feeling ko yan, pirmi lang akong good afternoon, ma'am. Feeling ko na ako kayan, pirmi ka lang instructor 1. For the energy and the enthusiasm and dynamism in the kind of work that you are given will always be there. There is always fire in it. Okay? There is always energy. O, di ba, magayon, ma'am, o, naghihirit sindang dota, makakadawog ka na, naka-aircon pa man, siyempre may sweldo, may pa-snack pa. Tapos, siyempre, yaon si supervisor, ma'am, hello, o, good points pa ka mo, o, good niya, nag-attend sa mga school heads ko. Saka si teacher, Mr. Multi-Grade. Great. Thank you, ma'am, for responding positively to our call because I've been telling your school heads and teachers that as a state university, we are also mandated to take a share or to take part in the making of future law-abiding and God-fearing citizen, particularly those coming from the multi-grade classes and the last mile schools, as they say. And we are happy that while our faculty members in the College of Development of Education, while they're also doing their mandated functions for extension, they're also being paid by the government, di ba? O tapos pinapaisak naman. And they are utilizing the resources of the government, di ba, ma'am? Kaya sabi ko nga, kung may pamansan ng gigibuon, maximize everything, maximize the kind of resources that you have. Ang trend na daw ngayon, we have to maximize something that has been drawn minimally. Ibig sabihin, halimbawa kung may sapatos kang saro, i-maximize mo ang paggamit ka yan bago ka magbakal na naman ng maray pamanso. Kaya, because it may not have direct effect to the environment, but if everyone is using or having that kind of habit, later on, we will be able to find out that our resources outside or in the environment are already depleted. So, big sabihin, we can have minimal use of resources but maximize its use. Yo, kung may sarong ay may duwang blouse na ginagamit, tama na i-maximize mo na ang paggamit ka yan before purchasing another. Why? Because when you purchase new dress again, remember that it has been taken from other outside resources until pag ganyan lahat ng gawa ng tao, we will come to a point where all our resources outside are already depleted. So, minimal use of resources but maximizing its utilization. O, parang ganun. So, kami naman, maximizing minimal resources ang gobyerno, but maximizing its use. Kaya aside from extension, sabi ko kay Ma'am Christia, we are also going to make a little twist of this. Aside from extension, gagawa ka pa rin ng research dito. Okay? So that later on, we will know some more information so that we can really help one another in attaining what is it that are expected of us as teachers. Because in teaching baga, sa amin kasi malinaw, di ba ano lang kami, instruction, extension, research, and production. Samantalang sa DepEd, sabi ko nga, ang hirap naman ng kalagayan ninyo mga class. Lahat na lang kayo, meron kayong Department of Social Welfare, Department of Health, Department of Disaster Risk Reduction Management, may Department of Health, tapos uga pang Bureau of Fire, Protection, meron pang Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. Lahat na inilagay sa Department of Education. Although, sabi na, meron na ngayon trend sa new secretary na they are being trying to streamline the duties of the teachers. Kaya sabi ko, talagang I have double salute to all the DepEd teachers, particularly with special mention to the elementary teachers, as I've said a while back, because these are teachers in the formative years. Kaya si Agum ko, elementary teacher. Taguban talagang formative years, anong bahala ka dyan. Okay? Ano pa? Tapos, let me continue. Next slide kita. I think you will believe in this. So let's go back to my main event. Sabi diyan, peer coaching is a confidential process through which two or more colleagues work together to reflect on current practices, expand, refine, build new skills, share ideas, teach one another, conduct classroom research, or solve problems in the way. Ngayon, kung hindi mo yan nagagawa, hindi ka nag-prepare coach. Okay? Remember, wala dyan na peer coaching is not the same as supervised teaching. Because in supervision, there is a certain degree of evaluation. Here, when you do peer coaching, you are not being critiqued. You are not being evaluated. You are not being judged, but you share. Okay? There are no ranks. Okay? Attributed to it. Okay? But you share the same concern with the end in mind of making things better, not only for yourself as a teacher, but for the students. Ngayon, actually, kahit kayo nasa multi-grade instruction, hindi naman talaga kayo true to the word nagkakaroon ng peer coaching. Pag abot naman sa field ninyo, kanya-kanya mangyaray kitang tirada. Okay? Kanya-kanya mangyaray. Sabi ko, but here in the university, if I may share, we are trying to have that culture na we consider our colleagues as a peer. Ay nga ni peer, meaning you belong to the same level without no ranks. Let me emphasize that. So therefore, you do not have to be afraid of being corrected. Okay, that is different from supervised coaching or supervised teaching. Okay, sabi diyan, you will work together. Okay, halimbawa, ining sarong teacher grade 1 to 3, itong saro grade 4, 5, 6. Both teachers should work together because what may be applicable to 4, 5, 6 teacher may also be applicable as a practice by the grade 1, 2, 3 teacher. But please tell me if you are sharing your practices, your ideas, your researches, you share one another to solve a particular problem, or ang sinishare ta, itong mga nangyayari doon sa meeting nindo sa Mancom or itong nagmarites. In short, nagmarites. Or do you share resources? I made use of this in my teaching, in the teaching of numeracy and literacy. Do you think sa grade 4, 5, 6, sa mga non or slow readers, can you still make use of this? As a reinforcement, are we sharing that? Are we doing that? Okay? Because if our pupils see that from us, na yung mga teachers na, oy Mati, sabi ko mani, si Krista, 1 year. Pero nangyayag ka na, 1 year. Si Ma'am Ana, how many years are you in teaching? 10 years. 17 o 17, hindi sa CBC eh. 6, 5, 1, 5, 7 years in CBSUA. Pigsusugo ang Professor 6, di ba ikaw daw ngay magtaramduman. Okay? But that is sharing resources. Okay? Can you do that? Ang hirap. Ang nailing ko pag nag-observe ako, not all siguro, pag nailing ko nag-observe ako sa mga practice teachers sa mga big school, sa Naga, sa mga nakalang eskwela. Paglaw ko kaya sa classroom, ay pagyan ko sa school, masabi na ang ko yan. Ay, ano yan Teacher, yung si principal, ma'am. Pero si, yung nagkaaral lang, si principal, nagkaribok sa mga teacher. Yan ang si supervisor, kung blast lang niya si ano, si, so ko yung mga, so ko yung ano, si portiro, nagkasiribot. Pero yung sa CBSUA, so Professor 6, sinusugo ang 5 years. 5 years in teaching, 1 year in teaching. And the Professor 6 is obeying. There's nothing wrong in it. Diba? Because here, we share resources, we share common problems, we share solutions. Ganun dapat that's the kind of culture that we wanted to have. And if our pupils, if our students can see that from us, they will also do the same thing. They will also do peer coaching. Ikaw, tamararay sa klase, boy, tukdoan mo man ining katait mong FI na ini. Ano yan kung FI, ma'am? No, so FI, sabi ko naman, ano ito, ma'am? FI. Sabi ko, nga ma'am, FI, full intervention. Ano niya kung puro full intervention? Ang ibig sabihin kan teacher, fatal ini. Kaya, tukdoan ka itong maray-ray. So, mga peer coaching sinda. Okay? And if we have developed that kind of culture, that we don't look at your degrees, you don't look at your ranks, you don't look at, but you look at you are trying to come up with an objective when you converse and collaborate with one another because you wanted to solve solve a particular problem. And that is to me a sign not only of emotional maturity, but sign of intellectual maturity. Dahil man pwedeng miling ika Professor 6, dahil ka natsuguong kang Instructor 1, okay man lang daw po yan. There's nothing wrong in it. I would even love it. Sabi ko nga sa CBSUA, ang dapat nga niya kung nagtuturok no hindi, mga professor. Kaya ibig sabihin ko, dakol lang nabasa, dakol lang i-share. Okay? Especially in the lower years. Kaya sabi ko baga, the best and the brightest, dapat the best of the brightest should be the ones teaching in the elementary level, in the elementary grades. And it happened to me, talagang saltangan, because the best to me and the brightest to me is in the elementary level. That's why my wife is in the elementary. Ay kung kunta ako sa, mas bilib pa lang kunta ako sa mga nagtuturok yung page. Di ang ginagawa mo kunta. So, pagtugod ko, mas the bright and the brightest. Diba? Because my wife is the brightest to me. Yeah. Gayon si Ram. Garo makasampulo na naman yan, ma'am. Diba? So be consistent. So, you reflect on current practices. Ito bang ginagawa natin in spite of every now and then that we do, wala pa rin effect sa achievement. Diba? Or pupils' academic achievement. Sabi ko nga, also reflect on your in-service training. Diba? Kasi, yung the last 10 years nyo bang pag-attend sa in-service training na yan, ay na-promote din kayo. Ang daming trainers, na-promote na pa kayo. Or significant ba yung promotion? Halimbawa, out of 10 teachers, after 5 years of continued attendance to in-service training, conference, seminar, out of 5 teachers or 10 teachers, siyam na dyan ang na-promote. Meron bang study na ganon? Wala. Wala pa. So, mga researchable areas yan. Baka, for in the last 10 years, na nagpa-attending in-service training, ganon pa rin. Teacher 1 pa rin siya. At yung academic achievement ng pupils, imbes na tumaas, bumaba. So let us reflect on our current practices. Baka mas magayon na itong gastos duman sa pag-in-service training, pag-invest kang agency sa pagpa-eskwela kang mga teachers in their graduate school. Pagkatapos kang 3 taon sa graduate school, siyempre mag-graduate masteral si ma'am o si sir. Automatic siyang taas ang ano kaya, di ba? Pagka completed academic requirements, teacher titulos. Pag nag-graduate ka na, requirement na yung master's degree. Di ba? Oh, baka significantly related pa yan in terms of productivity sa araw ng teacher. Pero mabawasan sa magparautang. Di ba? Na teacher. Kisa magpara-attender naman sa in-service training. I'm not saying that it's not good, ha? Ang ibig ko lang sabihin, let us reflect on our current practices. However, there is a study saying that our continued attendance in district of blah, 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 of our teachers and principals for the last 10 years have significantly brought the division into the number one in the Philippines in terms of academic performance, in academic achievement in math, science, Filipino, and English. Ayan. Kung mayroong study nga na nagpapakita, na dahil nag-attend yung mga teachers dito, tumaas yung academic achievement at naging number one ang district ninyo o ang division, then perhaps we can recommend that there should be continuity of that particular program. However, if none, let us therefore reflect on our current practices. Am I making a little sense, ma'am? Okay, sige, thank you very much. So, kasi di ko man yan pwedeng masugo, pero siguro I can a little influence or encourage. Halimbawa ngayon, let us start. Ito ngayang 5 aldaw na in-service training, dahil man pala nakakaano duman sa academic achievement kang eskwela. Gibuta na lang daw unang yung tulo. Ang duwa, kanya-kanya sa mga teachers, so that you can become more productive. Maray pagayad kung nagtaranong kamuting kahoy yan sa likodan kang harong ninda, after 3 months, may gulayon sa teacher. Or, kung nagparatin ng in-service training, o papatingay kami sir ning dress code. Pag lunis nga pink, ngaya di, at ang man akong blouse na pink, di simpre mabakal niya ako sa okay ning pink, imbis king ikapan ni Ramina. Pag lunis nga yellow, sabi ko, ano ba is the academic implication of these things that you have been doing? Sabi ko, let us reflect on the current practices. Sabi ko sa mga skill. Dahil niya kung nakontento, magkagawin kitang Little Miss King and Queen. Yan. Sabi ko sa mga skill, ano man niya ko, where is the academic and intellectual intellectual implication of that activity? Kaya mag-reflect on sabi ko, reflect on current practices. Ano niya kung intellectual implication kayang class? Kaya nga sir, pang ano lang, may mapag-ibo lang date sa kapag-siya. That is the duty of the government. For you source out resources. Alam niyo po ba na buti nga ang DepEd palaging may pabebe? Di ba? Ibig sabihin yan, you are able to maximize the budget accorded to you. Mayroong mga mayroong mga agencies na they cannot utilize the budget allocated for them for the current year. Anong ibig sabihin? Makwarta ang Pilipinas. Kadaing nga nagagamit gabos kang mga institusyon, government institution, ang kwarta kang Pilipinas. Kaya binabalik sa National Treasury. Kaya ang sarong agency pag dahil nagamit, dahil naka 100% sa budget utilization rate, dahil nagkakaigwa ng PBB, ng performance-based bonds. Anong implication? Meaning, our government has enough resources. Diba? Only that, we do not know how do we utilize these resources. Okay? But I congratulate DepEd kasi for the last 8 years siguro, palaging may PBB yan. Late nga lang dumating. Pero at least, meron kayong hinihintay. Diba? O ibig sabihin kayan, the budget allocated for the agency has been utilized. Okay, parang lumayo ako. But in our teaching practices, let's go back to the practices. Do we reflect on our day-to-day ways of teaching our students? Or sabi ka, bahala naman sinda, pag barakula may kan sa high school, baka naman yan. Pag college nga, mairingawa naman yan. Correct. Talagang ano yan, ang estudyante daw mo yung tukdoan, ma-improve. Okay? Because our tendency is actually to go up, mayo man, halimbawa, ganyan, teacher 1 ka, ang AA mo, gusto ko lang maging teacher 0. Ay, pwede. Ang gusto naman mo, piling pataas. Okay? Wala namang tendency pababa. Okay? Kaya itong aking mga kapatiran dito sa CDE na mga magigiting nito ay masigasig ito sa sila dahil gusto naman nilang maabot yung mataas. At kahit anong gawin nila, itataas talaga sila at itataas. Daw magparatukaw lang yan, after perang taon ka yan, mataas ang ranggo ka yan. It is a greater tendency. Haloy-haloy lang. Pero kung you work hard, araw pwedeng tulong, masigasig man, mga perang, pag inimbitaran ka mo kayo, iyon naman yan ang professor na nagtataram later on. So mga estudyante naman nito at taraman. Okay, so ibig sabihin, we have that aim. And there's nothing wrong when we mentor, when we coach our young members of the academy. Hindi man lang po yung kawalan sa'yo. Instead, you are still being brought to a higher pedestal because success, as I've told you, is something that we do not for ourselves, but for others. So, anong sunod pa dyan? We expand, refine, and build new skills. Do we discuss that in our classes with our fellow teachers so that we can develop new skills? We can share. Araw bang ni Madi? Ang pag-ano kayan, ang pag-gibo kayan Madi, araw ka ni. O di magibo-gibo ka mo. Tapos magigibo naman niya. That's nice. It's a very good practice. Or nagsabi man na, o gibon tangi ni Madi pa di, pag luwasan niyo, kapatalman niya ni Madi. Aling-aling ngayon pa-attender, doon ka nag-attend. Sige, sana kaya ngayang cellphone. But here, we have to share ideas and share new skills that we learn to our colleagues. Hindi, gone are the days na noong mga panahon, ang teachers, parang ayaw nilang mag-share, para sila lang ang merong alam. Ayaw nga magkaroon ng libro, parang sila lang ang nakakaaram kayan. But knowledge is never knowledge unless you are able to share it. Okay? Then the measure this time is not anymore your degrees. Ngayong panahon, alimbawa sa amin, hindi na gawa perang doctorate na ang gitnanapusan mo, Mayo. It's no longer credited. But it's your contribution to the community, to the body of knowledge, to the school where you are. Hindi na yung mga degree, not no longer, because all these things have been done for yourself. But ang measure sa higher education is already being measured in terms of your contribution to the body of knowledge, meaning to say in research, to your contribution to the community. Hindi yung makontribute yung matawang sanggatos, matawang hindi. Performance, how do you collaborate, work in the community collaboratively, ganun na po minimeasure kami sa university. And how do you contribute to the promotion of knowledge? Your research findings should be cited. Your book should be utilized. Your research work should be cited and should be published and cited so that it can be read by many. Yun na ang measure. Hindi na yung makatapos ka lang, okay na, hindi na. Kaya mahirap. So, itong tatlo magigiting kasi talagang they are taking a little something as a form of sharing of what they know in terms of community service. And I'm honored to be invited also here so that I can also make a little share of what I know. Okay? So ano pa daw dyan? Share ideas, teach one another. Di ba? Ako hindi na, kaya ako sabi mo kay Dr. Pan, let us create a culture where teachers are not afraid to commit mistakes. Kapag pinapa-report mo sa and when we do research, for example, I involve as many teachers as I can, not unlike before. Magsakit na sa CBSU kung paano ka man makalaog-laog naman sa mga kuyan, ang apod mi kaya itong mga alabang girls, may mga alabang boys, yung ininda, nakasircle lang yan, kaya haluyon so, promotion mi kang panahon ka, masakit makalaog naman sa circle ni Padi sa kanimadi. Huwag man kayo itang panahon. Oh. So mga yaon igdiusan ang nagdarali so ano but no longer this day kung wali na gayon ang araw katong sistema iyo pa man ipahiling ta. But when we do research proposal, I wish to include almost all teachers that are not only in the main campus but even those in Pasakaw so that they will also learn, know something. You can coach them, you can mentor. Okay? And that is not, hindi yung kawalan sa amin na professor. That is our mandate to do so. Diba? Kaya sinasarama ko yan. Kaya din ako din nag-aaram, ibataig this ano. Tapos po parang later, willing to join in this research undertaking. Because in higher education, we also have this notion na pag may research ka, matibay ka. Diba? Pero hindi naman ganun, diba? Kung si Senator Villar, research kayo ng research. Bakit? Gumanda ba ang buhay ng farmers? Hindi mo gumanda pa ang buhay ng farmers. Kaya sabi ko, atid ng seminar, gumanda ba ang academic achievement ng estudyante natin? Or the teachers may have improved their productivity in terms of professional and personal growth. Or baka lalo conduct classroom research or solve problems in their workplace. Meaning, you really have to collaborate in peer coaching. And if our pupils can see that, then they will also do the same thing. Okay? So, sige. Let's continue lang. Next, ano pa? Sabi diyan, peer coaching takes place between two or more colleagues who reflect on converse takes. This looks a lot like giving feedback. Okay? Pero, are we that open to accept the observation of our colleagues? Pero meron din ako nakita doon na practice pag-observe ko sa mga ano. Dito palang mga master teachers, sila ang nag-observe doon sa mga, ano ma'am, yung mga, tapos nagko-coach sila. And that is more of mentoring. It's not coaching. Okay? It's more of mentoring, meaning you give some advice and suggestions. So it is also a good practice. And the second part is about building skills, which is a development element to it. Meaning to say, I think it is not so good na from the time you've been accepted in the organization, you have the same kind of capability, capacity, etc. until after you also move out of the organization. Sabi ko sa mga estudyante ko, ano wala ka man lang ginawa? Pagpasok mo, teacher 1, pag-retire mo, teacher 1, ano wala ka man lang nagawa ang mga anak? Dapat meron ka man lamang teacher 1, step 25. Pero ba yung step 25? Ibig sabihin, meron ka man lang na-develop na new skills. Okay? Kasi dapat tumaas din yun, okay? The third part is about sharing ideas and teaching one another, which also has a learning and development element to it. Okay? Meaning you share, paano mo ito tinukdoan magbasa? Tapos Simon katong teacher 1, me katong aki ko, may pixel na messenger, o pardon me the reference na video. Basa. So aki ko yan may kapot na stick. Basa. Sana. Masa. Sabi ko, wow! Very good ka ako. May makdo kita at siyan. Uy, tatao ka na magbasa. Tatao na ako pa magbasa. Sabi ni teacher, pinailing sa messenger. Tapos basa ba? Tapos sabi ko, hindi daw plate number kang auto, basa daw. O papa, yun bang ang auto to? Yun bang nakasulat ng dyan? We go. At ang tinutukdo ko sa plate number. Pero aram kaya niya na itong auto we go sana. Kaya We go, we go, we go. Sige, ang ibig sabihin, dahil mo pas na tao magbasa ka itong sana, masang, tinuom ka so aki. Kaya itong plate number kang auto ko, ang basa man niya, we go, we go, we go. At ang 260, kung ba ganyan, EAD, 260 letters and numbers, ang basa niya, we go, we go, we go. So, have you ever asked your co-teacher, paano mo natuknoon makabasa? Diba? Or, di ko talaga natutuknoon in school ako makabasa. May I invite you in one of your classes na ikaw na mo na magtukno ka ni grupong ini-estudyante ko. Ako mo na mabantay ka itong eskwela mo. Kung anong kinigay mo. Are we doing that? That is what we mean by peer teaching and peer coaching. Na dahil kita masupog na makikiulay naman sa teacher, dahil ka may strategy ka nakakabasa, pwede ikaw nung nag-anmadi. Ako na mabantay ka itong ano mo. Oh, and then, anong ginibong, paano ta napabasa mo na? You share, you reflect on your current practices. Okay? Ang hapot yan, are we ready? Huh? Can we accept that kind of challenge? Ang mga big industrialized countries, meron silang araw kayo na practice. Nagsishare, etc. Let me proceed to the next slide. Okay. In Japan, ang apod sa indatayan, lesson study. Okay? Meron sila kaya na ano. One particular lesson, magibo silang sarong lesson plan. Okay, ang ginigibo na sarong lesson plan. Ano ba? Group of 5 teachers. They will make one lesson plan for one lesson, and they will select one teacher of the 5 to deliver the same lesson sa estudyante. While the other 4 teachers are observing the reaction of the pupils or the teachers or the students and how the teacher handles the responses of the pupils or students. Ang tawag nila dyan sa strategy, nakaano na yan sa Japan, lesson study. We also did the same. We also conducted the same we do also research study or lesson study where we are able to determine the performance of science, the students' performance in science in 3 selected schools using a lesson study. And indeed, the result is positive. Ang ibig sabihin, kaya ba natin yun na climate na yun na, halimbawa, gabos ka mo math teacher, sarong lesson plan, addition of in teachers. Gigibuan nito kung paano ang objectives, strategies, activities, hanggang evaluation. They share what they know, how to deliver this particular topic. And then after designing the entire lesson or instructional plan, one teacher will be selected to deliver that in a class, while the 4 teachers are observing. Tapos may mga hiling na naman duman sa teachers na nag-observe, ay, daing kayo na simbagan, daing kayo na ko akang inonote ninda sa mga tinasimbagan kang estudyante. So anong strategy ang gigibura? In the next class, i-revise na naman ninda sa lesson plan. Okay? With the observation and suggestions coming from the observed teacher and the observer. Okay? In order to come up with an exemplar lesson plan. Ngayon, pag nakuha na ninda dyan sa pinaka-the best na magayon nga to response, magayon to delivery, puzzle sa teacher, nakakuha ning pagayon na performance level sa estudyante, yung lesson explainer na di-develop, yun na ang gagawin ng 5 teachers in the next group of students in the next 2 or 3 years. Yun na ang gagawin din nila. And they are collaborating in the making of the same instructional plan. Pero kung may alipakitang habo mo lamang pasublion ni pahilingan, ay masakit ining peer coaching na ni. And you can never be successful when you will always depend on yourself. Itong sadiri mo lang, okay, that is not collaboration. Okay, when you do it yourself. Because when you do it alone, it is collaboration. Ang sabi ko, it is masturbation. when you do it alone. But this time, we have to collaborate. We do not compete. Meaning to say, we share to one another to better things in our classroom. Okay? Pasensya na kamuta, medyo brutal na dikit. Okay, this is a study that we have conducted, which is a very good platform where we can coach our peers. Okay? Sige. Next. It is reflective. Remember that? But the basic. It is reflective, non-judgmental. Meaning to say, we do not judge, but rather we accept suggestions. Because what works for you may work also for me, and what works for me may also work for you, or otherwise. Therefore, if it doesn't work for both of us, therefore, what is it that we need to do? Okay? Mag-replicate. Paano talong mapatama ini? Pero kita mga labot na kayan, basta tayaw kita sa last my school, basta Bernis ay Wibis ng hapon, mauli na kita. Bahala na duman sa pagka-Friday. Tinugong ko na duman kimanay. Sa classroom na saralduhan. That can also be done. Meron ka ng module na nagawa. Na ang estudyante mismo ninda, they can already coach one another. Itong classmates ninda. Kasi yan po ang new realities. We do not need to be always there in the classroom. Kami sa CBSU blended na may time pang or online pa. Dahil na maigdi. Pala naman kamo dyan. Okay. And that can also be done in the new realities, in the current realities that we have. It is no longer a tall order, I believe, that every teacher will go to in the last mile school or multi-grade. Pag nakagawa na kayo ng and na-develop yung mga pupils to coach one another, tapos siyempre, pero may naman din nagwag brighter, brightest, and bright. Mayo man, brightest, brighter, bright. Ang opposite man kayan, dal. Ipantay-pantay mo man. Okay? Diba? Kaya ang apod ni the peer coaching, it is a process, a simple non-threatening structure. Okay? So, non-threatening. Diba? Ibig sabihin that the pupil should not be afraid of committing mistakes. Kaya okay lang itong sana. Basig pag-irit na, pamakdo pa ako, nagkaroon na ako, nabudol-budol ako ka itong, kuya na ito, ay, nagkaroon nabudol-budol ako itong masa, sama, gnaw naman ko tapos. Pag abot lang duman sa wigo, ay, sorry. So, diyan ko pa si Ma'am Ten, i-message ko man, karoon na ako, nabudol-budol ako nindong duwa. And that's the current realities, di ba? And I salute these teachers in the elementary because they have that unrelenting patience. Diyos ko, ang pagkalabag kang pasensya, kung gano'n kampo hanggang nagag ang pagkapasensya. Kung araw kang kataba ang pasensya kang teachers elementary, mas fácil gibon ining perkot, and it will lighten your burden, your job as a teacher. Is it not? Kasi na mako-coach mo, pag na-coach mo na, di siya naman ang ma-coach duman sa iba. Siya naman duman, and that will give you some, ang tawag dyan, ripple effect later on. But you cannot do it all alone. Ba? Masakit. Kaya magayon ining tulong ini, talag kawin man sila, they form also a click. Okay? Para tingnan natin kung mag-click. Pag nag-click, gamos yan mataas in terms of research productivity, extension productivity, and productivity in everything. Kasi dapat kita, as teachers, while we are also doing it to others, we also, in one way or another, while we are doing it to others, we're also doing it to ourselves. Diba? When we make our pupils and students successful in the future, when we contribute in their success, we are also doing it for us. Okay? We are also making some successes in our own little ways. Okay? Meaning, babalik din sa atin, hindi bagang kasabihan kang gurang, the more you give, the more you receive. Okay? So, while bakit itong mga iba hindi kahit anong gura ng gibo, dahil man talaga nagiging marahil, dahil nagiging dahil man kayo nagigibo yan para sa iba, pero bisa nang para sa sadiri. In your attendance today, my dear school heads, with the presence of your district supervisor, dahil yun maigdi, kung dahil hindi aram na si Ma'am Cyril, maigdi ta machichikan kami, will also be able to uh, read down in something that it will be done later on to others. Because it is in doing it to others that makes one very significant in terms of his or her existence. Diba? Sabi diyan, of all this definition, let us take note of the underlined term. Ang end result daw, we have simple rules, similar rules, but simple objective to improve upon skills through reflection and collaboration. So peer coaching is more on reflection of what are we doing and collaboration without fear of being evaluated. Okay? Hindi ka natatakot na bababaan ang performance mo, bababaan ang ni principal, bababaan ni co-teacher mo. Di ba sa IPCR, mayroon din mag-rate din sa atin yung ating ano yan, yung ating kapwa teacher without fear. Talagang tutuyawan mo kung may mali or may mali to better things. Okay? Sige. Ano pa daw, B? Next. Wala na. Okay. But sabi dyan, it is not nga a new trend, di ba? Because it has been there since 1950, 1970s. And Dr. Goudsman really created that model, that the current model on peer coaching in 1987. O yan po ang research dyan, tungkol dyan. Before, peer coaching made use of the concept in sports, and later on, it has also paved the way towards finding the modality in the teaching and learning process. Okay? Dito, sa model ni Dr. Barbara, there is an elimination of evaluation, judgment, and supervision. Diba? Well, you should not be afraid of being judged, being critiqued. You should not be afraid of being evaluated and being supervised. Di ba? Usually kasi, sa old school, pag yung si supervisor, ano tayo? Ano si supervisor? Parang hindi. Because in my studies about administration and supervision, the intent of supervision is to improve class observation and classroom instruction. That is fails, the teacher fails more. Kang panahon, nang may 10 dyan makapasar sa kuya. But later on, I realized, masakit talaga ako masakit pag dahil nakadali nga, dahil talaga ipasar ni Charlie Nacario. But later on, I realized that there is something wrong in I have to reflect. There is something wrong in the kind of dealings that I have. And many students know me before, na masakit ngayon, hayop ngayong Nacario na yan. Inaaraw ngayon ako kayang itong mga panahon. But I have to make a paradigm shift indeed because it is incumbent upon us to reflect on our practices. Sabi ko mali. Kada niya ako magbagsak akong estudyante, dahil man nagdadagdag piso ang sweldo ko. Kada niya ako may ma-fail na estudyante, dahil man ako napopromote. Kada niya ako may magpara-problema kang sarong bagay, lalong nagdadagdag ang kurundot sa mukha ko, dahil man nagbabanat. So I have to reflect. So, I have to make a paradigm shift. Diba? When you wanted to go to rise up, bring with you your students. Okay? Meaning kaya and then later on I was able to read a quotation saying na student fails, the teacher fails more. So tama na ako in pag-paradigm shift pong ini. So meaning to say, it is incumbent upon us to really bring out the best in our students. Because when they fail, our failure is doubled. Diba? Kaya mo dyan, mga eskwela ko, dawa ka mo dyan, dawa ka maghagad na sir, ibagsak mo lang ako, But when I made some paradigm shift, later on, ay, mabilis si Charlie Nacario. Ay, mabilis sa. Siyempre kayo, pag magayon ng dahil ako nagpaparaan pag namali ako ng estudyante, atoy ako, sir, so computation mo, ay, sir ako nasa laboy. Di, okay man, may problema na. Kaya ako nila ako, okay. The more they appreciate it. So pag evaluation, pag imamarka ka sa emo, maray. Pero kung itong sa 30, ang nakakapasar sa na 5, pag student evaluation ka yan, 25 mo ang mabagsak sa ko. Kung pwede nga 63 man yan. But when I made some paradigm shift, ay parang nag-iba talaga. So I am a living witness in this. I am a living testimony of that paradigm shift that we really have to bring out the best in our students, make some paradigm shift. Bilis baga. So, sabi ko sa mga estudyante ko sa college, your teachers were my teachers during my high school and my college days. And where are they now and where I am now? Because they have not changed their views and perspective of education. Unless you made a paradigm shift, then you will be brought to whatever your heart desires. Si Romano, gayon. Okay, so next. Who is thou? Therefore, mentoring is directive, while coaching is non-directive. So, it's better coach not to mentor. Okay? Kasi wala kayong, regardless of ranks. Okay? Pero, mentoring, parang kasi, they can be used interchangeably from time to time. So meaning in mentoring, it is more likely the mentor doing more of the talking and the mentee is the one listening. Parang passive, okay? But anyway, both coaching and mentoring daw are both helpful to people to get where they want to go. Okay? So, merong mga kapwa natin na teacher, gusto, ini-mentor pa mo na sinda. Okay? Meron din na gusto ayaw tumingin ng porke ikaw ganito ka. Ang ibig sabihin, they will all redound to bringing both of you to where you wanted to be. Whether it is coaching or mentoring, it will end up to doing something good. So, but how do we, in short, parang ganito daw siya, next. Di ko matiming ang yung nandun sa taas, are all functions of coaching. Dito sa baba are function of mentoring. Okay, meaning you ask questions, you reflect, etc. And mentor is non-directive. Okay, so that's it. That is how we see or we differentiate mentoring and coaching. Okay, sige. Next. Who can be a peer coach? Everybody, also anyone in the organization who has the right mindset and knowledge plus skills to share can be a peer coach. O, ang masakit diyan gibuon ang right mindset, di ba? Do we have that right mindset? Okay? Can we now accept the current realities in our changing educational landscape? We cannot do everything on our own. We need the assistance of our neighboring teacher, our colleagues, to do things better for our classes. So it should be right mindset. And it will never lessen your reputation nor your integrity when you commit mistake and ask sorry about it, or when you seek your help from your fellow teachers who knows very well some a particular topic, and it will never also be something that will reduce your credibility or reputation when you are also able to share some knowledge and your skills to your fellow teacher. Hindi po yung kabawasan sa inyong kagandahang ugali at kagandahang pagkatao kung nakashare ka ng something new and something different that will lighten in the burden of your colleagues in your respective school. Kaya ang importante, right mindset. Okay? Your intelligence, sabi ko diyan, your intelligence or your aptitude may help you reach the top, but it is your attitude that will help you stay on top. Yan ang kasabihan niya, di ba? Meaning, right mindset. Ay, ang sobrang talento, ang katalanuhan mo, your intelligence may help you, your competence may help you reach whatever your heart desire, the top. But it is your character and your attitude that will help you stay on top. Di ba? Ibig sabihin, yung talino mo, matutulungan ka makataas. Pero yung, kaya nga, your aptitude will help you reach the top, but it is your attitude that will help you stay on top. Okay? Therefore, we have the right mindset to adhere or advocate, especially in multi-grade instructions or in multi-grade classes. Okay, sige. Sige po, next day. These are the things that we have to do, or the principles that we have to observe when we wanted to have peer coaching as our modality. The teachers now must agree to be members of peer coaching team and develop team norms. Right mindset talaga we have to accept, or can we have this? And the team must agree to omit verbal feedback. Ibig sabihin, haraliw na itong mga marites, itong mga feedback na not so good. Okay? Third, you must decide who is going to pair with whom for observations. Sabihin, meron kang kapartner talaga na you will be observed. Diba? Pero pag ang teacher kaya, may mindset kaya na, when I am in the classroom, I have all the rights and privileges. Ano kapag pakiaraman ako, diba? When I'm inside, I am everything here. I am the authority. Ano ka dyan? Kaya sabi ko, kamo mga eskwela sa graduate school, sa masters and PhD, if you will be the same Mr. So-and-so, when you go back to your place, your coming here will be in vain. Dapat, pagdating nyo doon sa workplace nyo, iba ka na rin. There should be some difference in you. Make a little difference, something different. Takong kaparehas, kaman lang kang gawi-gawi katong pinayaan mo, marasa pang nag-idi ka pa sa graduate school. Ba? Kaya nga rin akong advanced education na dapat mas nakakaintindi ka. Kaya sayo baga ni Commissioner Lisada, the higher ranks you have, the lower you should go. Yan ang example ko dyan, Instructor 1, Assistant Professor, Associate Professor, sinugo si Professor, okay lang. Anong may issue dyan? Maayong issue dyan. O, sugo daw si supervisor, ma'am. Diba ka? Because what you do for yourself, tandaan ta po, what you do for yourself, it's not success, but it is what you do for others. Sabi ko mga sabi ko, when I obtain my PhD degree, that is for me. It's not successful. It's not a success to me. When I obtain the highest academic rank of Professor 6, may I emphasize with salary grade of 29, I do it for myself. O, dumang ka mo nagpalakpak, dumang sa salary grade. Sabi ko talagang tangarig to inspire. But that is not success to me because I do it for myself. Success is what you do for others. Diba? Kaya nasusugo ka. Because I am doing it no longer for myself. Tama naman sa mga Professor 7 or Professor 8. Naman, I'm doing it for these three whom I also observe has that potential to become effective, to become highly credible professors in the university. I'm doing it for themselves. Diba? Ano pa din naman, ang puntos ko sa pag-episipig, mayo naman dudumanan. Sabi ka tong pamangking ko, sabi niya, Antono, katong ko-teacher ko sa Lapas, sa Pillars, ang ibig mo sabihin niya, Nay, ang salary grade ni uncle mo, masalangkaw pa sa superintendent me, ta salary grade 26. Sabihin mo niya kung iyo, ta ano? Pero that is not success to me. Kada ako lang niya akong rata ni ma'am, ta superintendent, kada ako lang mas grabe ang ano sa enda, mas grabe ang, ano nga po kayo ni? Responsibility, dahil ko na kaya. Abo gayod ni Lord na, pag maaamayan ka dyan, Charlie, may siyam kapating aki. Igdi ka lang, simple ka lang igdi sa CBSU, simple ka lang. O may siyam ka mong aki, na tiniwala ko. O igdi ka lang, dyan ka lang, oy ataman. Takong itatauta ka dyan, mukha kaya nun yan. Siyempre nahiling yan. Kaya, igdi ka lang, ayan lang ang kaya mo. Ayan lang ang kaya. Ang mga principal, kadakol ba ang, imagine, supervisor si ma'am, kadakol na eskulan dudumanan. O hindi ko kaya yan. And she is doing it not for herself also. That is also her metric of her success as educator and as supervisor. Kaya palakpakan mo rin po. Diba? It is not on the ranks, but it is what we do for others. Para kapangesa, salary 29, pa burubay nila, masig sa burubay sa pero po, pinawan man ako ni Loding Siyam. Kaya ang feeling ko kayo, pero man sa teacher 1. Kaya maigos man giraray. Yaon pangyari ang work hard, study hard. Sige ko pang basa, sige ko pang surat. Tayo ko mo siya magparaluya-luya ka dyan, babayaan ka dyan. Diba? So, yan po ano. Sige. And the team daw must have an understanding that the purpose of it is to learn and collaborate without judgment or criticism. Yan tandaan ta. Without judgment. Dahil ka tatatsaran. Dahil ka husgahan. Dahil ka criticize. Okay? But it is intended really to improve something, not for yourself, but for the betterment of the students or pupils we are teaching. Diba? Kaya maray kita, tinawang kita ni Lord ning pagkakataon na makagibo kita ning maray sa kapwata, and that is our metrics of our performance, is our metrics of success. Dahil mo ibig sabihin na mili ka, teacher ka sa last mile school, di ka na successful. Daw itong mga kabats mo, principal na sa baba, mas dakol ang problema kayan. Yung mga superintendent, mas dakol ang problema in terong division of Camarines Sur na ako nga ning pagkabuhay kong ini, di ko pa nabilang ang perang eskwelahan, kaya nag-research kami ngunyan ma'am, kung pira talaga ang mga eskwelahan sa DepEd. Pero iyan mga gabos na yan na dumanan ninda. Diba? O ikaw nga Charlie, taaram ko ang kaluyahan mo, di ka lang. Diyan ka lang sa dikit na tao. Pero di ka papabayaan kang siyam mo. Ano man yan kaya? Diba? And the same, kaya